Hey guys, I'm on ES Futures right now. I want to go over the setup that made me go long today. It was one of the better setups I've seen in a while, just in terms of simplicity and minimal drawdown. First, I want to establish a couple things. Number one, here, if you've never seen any of my videos before, very simply, white lines are major lines, orange lines are minor lines. I want to see my setups occur within white lines. Typically, those are major levels that occur, let's say, anywhere between every 10 to 20 points, usually, sometimes a little bit less. And in that sense, it would be a kind of a zone, and you want to play it a little bit more differently. But every setup is going to be different and unique, and you have to use your ability to read and gauge the risk reward as well as what makes most sense. So let's get right down to business. Before we show the setup, I'm on a 2 hour chart here, and I want to show you why level 6333 is not only very important, but another reason to have gone long earlier this morning. So you can see here on July 3rd, we created a high of the month to start off, and then we sold from there. We came right back a week later and sold from there again. We came back a couple days later and we tried to push through, sold down, pushed through a level or two, then came back down, falling down to earth, creating constant failed breakdowns of levels and just giving people chances to go long. We eventually broke through decently last Thursday, went up a couple levels, came back down for a little dip in recovery, which led to new all-time highs, all the way up at 63.72. So with that said, you can clearly see how important 63.33 was as a resistance, as a support, and then this zone, in fact, has become very important. As you can see, it has been a big resistance and now a multiple time support for us. So let's get down to the business. Let's go to a 15-minute chart, reset the chart here a little bit, and break down the action that has occurred from Friday afternoon, morning, all the way through today morning. So first of all, we set this low on Friday afternoon around 1 o'clock. It went from 63.22 to a high of 63.72-ish. So almost 50 points we went to set this low before we lost it. So that is what I would define as the length of the low, from how much it traveled before that low was lost, which happened this morning around 10 o'clock. So a 50-point low is an absolute great low to work with. Ideally, anything around 7 to 10 points minimum for a simple fail breakdown, and more than 10 points ideally to take a low very serious, unless it's not very volatile and we have to work with what we've got. So long story short, this low was established. So all this week so far, since the Sunday open, which occurred around here, I'm looking for a fail breakdown at some point of this low, depending on how far up we go, etc. So now, once we woke up this morning, that was still on my mind, and I'm thinking if we can sell and recover this low, that'd be a great setup. And that's exactly what we got. We sold below it at 9:45. We started pushing above it at 10 o'clock, and that's a great opportunity to go long. That worked great level to level, whether you took the 6 points right here, or kept a little more for maybe 9 points. Waited with a small position open, and then saw a takeoff for more. First, I want to talk about the entry. So if you're looking at this price action, the entry was about this, where it says 63.26. So you can see how we pushed through at 9:55 and then sold back down. That's perfect. That is ideal for what you want to see usually. It doesn't want to be too much higher than this though, but the fact that we sold down right here, pushed through, sold down the trigger, and then started pushing back up at 10:05, that's his perfect setup. I went long right at 10:05, held a little bit of a drawdown, little patience, nothing crazy at all really, and then at 10:30 we got to push up to the next level. That's a picture perfect entry for the failed breakdown. If you're looking for that low, the low is right here. So in case you want to see like how to approach this potentially, you could just draw a line just so you know where the local low is, so that when it comes to that area, you can be ready to take advantage of it. Let's see, 1 second. So you see how we dipped below, and then that low is about 63.22. 4 points above is that major level we had. That worked out perfect, and you go long above that level after acceptance. Awesome. Now, when I talked about 63.33 was because two things. If you missed this entry, or you were not sure if it was good enough for some reason, and you were thinking that this 63.3 level could be very stubborn, well, there's about 7 points from here to here. That's enough for a good trade already. So that would have been the trade. However, let's say you also started watching it. You can see how we consolidated right at that level, tried going above a couple times, sold at 12.15 before starting to push back up at 12.30, 12.45. That right there is an awesome level reclaim of 63.33. I actually added to my position there just because I was very confident in this setup right now. And that has been working great now, and we're back up to the resistance up here of 63.51-ish, maybe even a little lower potentially. So that's what's going on in ES futures right now. Also, you can start to see the beginning, or maybe the end of a what's it called, head and shoulders, which is actually a little bearish, but it is what I'm seeing a little bit. This is the one shoulder, this is the head right now we're forming, and then maybe we can form another shoulder, but that is not what you want to see. However, we trade what we get. Also, last thing is we just dipped and recovered 63.33 again right here at 215. Classic back test of that reclaim, and now we're pushing back up. This should continue to go up. It looks like it's very bullish now, and I think we'll probably see 63.65 by the end of today, if not this evening. So I'll be back with more. Have a great day.